And please welcome Tamás Pálóczi from Deutsche Telekom, who is our next speaker. Bye-bye.
Hello.
Hello. We can see and hear you.
Oh, great. Thanks a million.
So, the stage is yours.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time on this Thursday afternoon. I'm sure you could have had other things to do, like going to the beach or pool or whatever, and it's really an honor that you're taking the time and listen to us. I think both the topics are pretty, say, on trend, especially lately when our teams, or your teams probably, have been working mostly remotely, and now maybe most of them going into sort of hybrid mode. But I was really happy to hear Balaji's like last comments of metrics, and was probably the best measurements, and he answered team happiness. And I'm really happy to talk about this team happiness, because when with the organizers we started to say think what and how say I should put this a topic on stage. Then I was thinking, well, something we might have done good in my team if in the last, say, 16 months, based on at least the internal measures, we have our internal surveys. I'm sure that you also you have had the same thing, and we came out like one of the best teams like 2 times. And I was thinking, okay, we work only online, so how might that be? So we may do something good, but as also Balaj mentioned, that all teams are different, so we cannot compare one to the other. Apple and orange comparison, as he said as well. And I really believe that they're done, but the experience that I'm going to share with you may help you to improve this team happiness, especially for teams who work remotely. So there we go. So just one thing that I figured that, listening to Bala, this is the first time on this platform, and I learned from the organizers that there is a 15-second delay. So in case I say something funny, then I will wait probably 15 seconds. Maybe you want to laugh, but maybe you won't. I don't know. So a bit about me. So my name is Tamás Pálóczi. I've been heading the Deutsche Telekom's internal design agency for quite some time, 4.5 years now. I'm a design thinking believer, enthusiast, service designer. I've been around innovations for way too long. Well, I'm a father of 2 kids, 2 boys. I'm a musician and a full-time crazy. This is how I can put it. Okay, so let's jump into the subject. So I'm going to talk about team happiness, if I can continue this line. And at a telco company where I also work, when you talk about disconnection and people losing touch, I feel really bad about that, because we have all the tools, and you guys, you all been using tools like Zooms and Skypes and Microsoft Teams and WebExes. Well, if you're that lucky, or you use Slack and the others. But what these tools worth if there is the effort missing behind, and this effort is mostly, let's say, lacking from the management side to truly use these tools for what they're made for, keeping touch. And I really feel that in some comparison, this touch loose maybe sound ridiculous. And I have a personal story, if I may start this with, about connections and what disconnection really means. So if I go back to, I heard a story from my mom, and this is like a family, well, one of the key stories of our family storybook. The story goes back to the 40s, when two youths, my grandfather and my grandma, they met in a very small village somewhere in eastern Hungary. And then the Second World War kicked out, and my grandfather was taken to the war fields, to the front zone, and let's fast forward to 1945 September, when he arrived to the Eastern Railway Station here in Budapest, and he was thinking he was home, but there was no way for him to be connected to his love, who was my grandmother. And arriving to the Eastern Railway Station, when he got there were soldiers all over, and they were like the Soviet army, the military officers. And all of a sudden, trains and wagons came into the station, and they were told to load in. And nobody knew what was going to happen. What's happening now? Where were they being taken to? So in the last moment, he was told that we're going to the Soviet Union, to Russia. And my grandfather picked up a piece of stone from the ground. Every soldier had their toolbox that contained by that time, after writing so many letters to my grandma, that contained just this small piece of pencil. So with a stone and a pencil, so he was just loading into the wagon. And I was thinking, I gotta tell Irma, that was my grandmother's name, and using this little pencil and a piece of his shirt, he wrote a letter to my grandma, hoping that one day this will somehow get to her. And we're talking about right in 1945, and like 200 kilometers far away from where the message should have been sent. And he just wrapped it in, so the stone, to have a weight, he wrapped it into this piece of clothes with a message in it. He just like knit it, and while the train was leaving, he just chucked it out of the window. And guess what? That message was found, and the message was delivered to my grandmother, and we still have this. And years and years, literally 8 years passed, when my grandfather eventually returned from the Gulag, where you may know that between World War I and World War II, over 50 million soldiers from all over Europe were taken. And my grandfather returned. And the question is here, that why am I telling you all this story? Remember, I started with all the Slacks and Teams and Skypes and stuff. But what made, and of course at the end they got married, but what made hope in my grandmother's heart? Why didn't she just went and found somebody else to marry? Of course they were in love. The definition of love, like back to 70 years ago, and the definition of love today in the world of Tinder and stuff, it's way different. But what I want to underline is trust. It's purely trust, that is. So they trusted each other, that and all the hope and trust together made my grandfather and my grandmother at the end marry, and that's it. So building this trust, just to continue, within teams is essential. And in the times of COVID, let's go back to this, and again to disconnection and to remote working. How can you build this trust? Of course, you first have to. So the effort should be there from all management side. I truly believe that customer centricity is not just by the books and by agile guidelines and all that. Customer centricity truly starts in the head of people, and mostly and mainly should be seated in the line managers, if you go back to agile ahead. But also that that mindset should be really soaked up by the team themselves. So how did we do it? Let's put it this way. First, to reach and I'm sorry not using slides. I just decided not to because the platform doesn't really allow me to see you guys, so that's already a disadvantage. I really wanted to be here and being focused. You know, if I look funny, I'm using a Snapcam, Snapchat cam, whatever. So having this, say, social and emotional confidence within the team is a long way to go. So you as say leaders, because this is at the end of leadership forum and talk, you as leaders, you really need to earn this emotional and social security level from your team. Now, of course, when you compare like working in an office or on site and working online, that's a way different story. However, and this is probably the stories that I can tell you, I really believe that most of the elements and most of the tricks that we have been using, I wouldn't say at Telecom, because again, teams are different, but at least within my team, we just simply, what worked well, we just simply interpreted them how we could deal with them online, how we could use them online. For instance, I hope you should ask my team about it, but I really hope that we are in a, so again, back to the agile terminologies, we are in a performing stage of status within our team. However, this team is we are like a center of excellence, so we are not changing one project or the other. So we meet, like we used to meet in the office every day, and we used to like sit around the table, and we used to sip coffees together and tell stories and laugh. What we agreed to do is that let's take this to our everydays online. So why couldn't we just have our coffees and croissants and laughters online? So we decided to have like this, as we keep on using these Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, every day from every of these days from 9:30 to 10. What we do is that we use these, we call them as flying coffees, because people can fly in and fly out if they so wish. Normally everybody stays. And not because of me, but because what we do is that we, just online, we try to, just kick in the day. Everybody may have a story. If they don't have a story, then one of us or the other, we just bring in some icebreakers. Just lately we were talking about what were the most embarrassing piece of clothes that you used to wear when you were younger or when you were in grammar school, and it was really a big laugh, because some guys you would have never thought that they would be like punks or rock guys, or some others may be in the rave area, and it is so funny. So we break the ice like this, or sometimes we play games in the mornings. Probably you also use, as I see Balaji is also using Miro. I think Miro is a fantastic tool for collaboration, and not only for projects, but doing stuff and interacting with one another in the digital space. And what I think is really, really amazing. So we designers, we use, for instance, Figma, and now like for Figma, similar to Miro, it's just so great to see that the others are there, and you're just actually doing stuff, and not only like telling people to do stuff, but we do it together at the same spot, the same time. I think these are amazing. So we just simply translated like board games into Miro. We did it ourselves, like the find a pair kind of games. When you cover, we just covered emojis with virtual post-its, and you must have found the pairs, and who found the poo lost the game, by the way. Or we just created games for these morning games. For instance, what's in the fridge? That was the name of the game. What we did was just like we in Miro, in the virtual workspace, we put like empty refrigerators, and we asked the team members to fill up the refrigerator of the other team member, that you might think they have it in the refrigerator, and at the end, one guy opened the fridge and see if you scored. Just stuff like that. Very easy games, but it just gives you a good kick in the day, as I said. So these are the morning coffees interpreted into digital. What else? Like, we used to have lunches, of course. Like you also used to have lunches. What we did was simply, instead of lunches, we did long walks. That's it. We met, in mass, and at least we could have these long walks together. That was allowed. Or we just simply cooked together, like over Zoom, or had lunch together. Like, everybody could just bring along their lunches, and at least the team was sort of together. Looking into the eyes and having these personal interactions, cheering up emotions, feeling how the other is doing within the team, I think is essential, especially for leaders or for a member of the leadership. And for this, for instance, in Slack, we created a "How's your mood" channel, and using simple emojis, you could have told the others that, guys, I don't know, I'm just coming from the doctor, or my dog pooed on the, I don't know what's wrong with me, I'm talking about poop 2 times, on the carpet, or whatever happens, the neighbors are noisy, and they just could use these emojis and let the others know what's up with me now. So the reason I'm grumpy is not because of you guys, it's because whatever is happening around me. And then respect, and we just get along with it. And the same thing what you do in the office, you see the other is sniffing or obviously grumpy or angry, and you just go there and tell them what's up, if there's anything I can do for you. So this is the interpretation. And for Slack, we also use other stuff, like we use channels just to cheer up each other. Again, share things like if anybody was in the woods, everybody was so desperate to see nature. And if somebody was lucky enough to be able to go out there, and we just took pictures of snaps, and we just uploaded into the nature channel to let others know that, hey, actually there are birds, especially for the guys who live in downtown. Or we just started to use a channel called What I Cooked Today. So it's like if you cooked something, we shared it, and the others went on and, hey, love it. So me being a father and a single, let's put it this way, I'm not cooking that much. So after seeing all these, girls making all those, and also the guys making all the lovely foods, and after a while I was saying, you know what, I will set up a channel that's going to be like, yes, I would eat it. So that this was one of the channels we also have, which is like different. And also, for inspirations, we created like a inspiration channel where you could upload, in the area of design, whatever stuff you see on I don't know, on Dribble or Instagram or Pinterest, wherever, we just upload there. Or if you created something, then we upload it there too. Maybe another trick, or not trick, maybe a hint that worked very much for us, the keeping each other on the track of learning. I think that's like super crucial for a team, and for each team member to be able to identify those areas where you want to improve or you want to develop, and you go with it. So for instance, some of us who have been interested and maybe are lacking a little bit of like hand drawing skills, we just set up a channel that was for like daily sketch, and we started to sketch stuff, picking up courses online. I myself as a leader, again, I was like, yeah, I can be inspiring others by doing this with them, instead of like telling them, you know what, you are not good enough in illustrations, why don't you do it? And so I went along with them and I did it, and I keep uploading my own like hand drawings into this channel. So that's about Slack. So Slack, and it's not Slack, it's more like finding a way how to interact on the digital space as if you were live. and communicate. I think this is like, we set up our own team rules, which work for us, may work for you, may not. But for us, what worked very well is that we actually interact with each other. So if somebody posts something into these channels, nobody's told to put an emoji or a comment there, but we do it by nature now. So this is the way we live. This is the culture that we built up to keep on communicating even online. But don't think of a horde of messages every day, but just simply this is, I think these are amazing ways how you can keep the buzz going. Going out, after like, again, 1.5 years, with this desire to eat out in a restaurant, literally, or to go out and play darts with each other, or to do whatever, having a kite in the sky, just doing whatever. But it's the same with you. Well, what did we do? We organized, like every second week or so, we organized these team fun evenings. Like we spread who should be the organizer within each other, and like every second week we're like, yeah, you know what, let's meet in the evenings. And we brought drinks, wines and beers and shots and stuff, and we just found these collaborative games, for instance, like scribble.com. It's just so funny. You need to guess what the other's trying to draw, and you get points, just silly as that, but it's just so funny. And you know what, it worked out so well that even the ones who were like singles, being home on their own, they joined, and they were just felt connected, that we are there for each other. And nobody was, there was no gun on their hands, and you really gotta join. You know what, everybody joined, everybody. And this goes back to one of my major principles of leadership is, just around the strokes. I really love this. I don't know how many of you are native English, or how many of you are Hungarians. The stroke may mean positive and negative strokes, and you know it by coaching, that stroke is essential, giving positive feedback as much as giving a constructive negative feedback, but giving whatever feedback is essential. So what we also have been using, well, I think that's important to know that my unit had been already working remotely before the COVID times. We were just forced into the extreme mode of remote and remote only. But beforehand, we had all the the retrospectives, and not only for projects, but also for the team house itself as well. So about strokes. So giving feedback, we just created like simple like kudo boxes in Mio again. Like whoever wanted just left a note, just left a virtual post-it with your name on it, and saying that, you know what, Susanna, I love the way you always, I don't know, talk to the product owners of the German products, whatever. Just having this virtual kudo box worked out well so much for us that it just feeling the appreciation of the others every single day is super key to team health and team happiness. Going back to another topic that I felt like I really want to share it with you, because it's again so essential and so like super needed today, that being online and having all the WebEx, Skypes and Teams and Zooms and all that does require a completely different attitude from both the participants and also for the facilitators. So, I mean, needless to say that team meetings can be super boring. I mean, super. Sometimes, talk about project meetings, not our team meetings. Hopefully team meetings are not that boring. If they are, just do something about it. So these project meetings can be super boring. So imagine this super boring, and because it's not structured, there's no agenda, nobody's facilitating. Everybody's like you inviting people who like normally there, but they have nothing to do with the meeting. So take this thing, put it online, it's going to be a disaster. And the title of this, talk of mine is that turn the camera on. And I chose this title because here comes the essentials of how to actually facilitate an online meeting. So I really wanted to give you some tricks and tips. Turn the camera on. Basic. That's basic rule. It's like if you don't turn the camera on, don't join the meeting. I'm begging people not to join the meeting because it is really like talking through the glass, It's just like, or talking from, I normally put it, is that people who don't put the camera on, it's just like you attend to a meeting, but you're actually in the toilet and you don't really bother, please don't. So facilitation, if somebody's arranging a meeting or setting up a meeting, please take the time and the effort to having an actual agenda. Why we are here? What are we going to do? And here comes the digital tools of Miro. I think that is like essential that meetings are, unless it's like a one way of conference type of, meeting, but that's not a workshop or that's not a working groups meeting. That's a presentation, which you also know how do they work normally. But if you want to get them work online, you need to find a tool. And Miro or Mural, these are the two that I would really recommend. So get them work, but before you get them work, let them know what you're going to do, because it may happen. Just lately, I was in a workshop where people was not aware of these tools, so they just arrive and they have no idea what you're going to do in get them engaged, get people engaged, talk to them actually. So if you want them to be participating, then just direct them questions, get feedback all the way along. You may want to spice up your meetings a little bit by using Snapcam, that I'm also using now. So my eyes are not that shiny because I'm like painting them. It's because of Snapcam. So use something funny. Fun is, at least for my world, is something that is like one of the essentials. If you can't bring a bit of a humor, that's already like breaking ice, and your meeting may go way better. So and another point that I wanted to bring is that we have also been facing the problem of onboarding people while being distant. This has been also challenging, like interviewing people and then onboarding people online and purely online. Sensing the people, sensing these candidates or these later workmates' personality through online is also requires a different attitude. Forget about prejudgment. People are just maybe not that well equipped or they're not comfortable in the digital space. So you must be much more patient with them, or connectivity problems may happen. But I'm just driving attention is that you need to be like having extra care and attention. So that's the ending of it. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.
Thank you. I think Tamas just left the stage. But if you come back for a second, Tamas, we have a few questions. Oh yeah, nice.
Oh yeah, sure. Sorry.
No worries. I just
left the building. Yeah.
I was scared because I thought I'm joining the wrong stage in Hopin, but then I just realized that you left. Awesome. So we have a few questions. Thank you very much for the great talk, by the way. The first one is, you mentioned a lot of fun activities. How do you balance between fun and work?
Well, well, I wouldn't say it's a balance. There's no like a score point sort of chart that you need to. I think it just comes natural. people are playful. I mean, I hope at least my team is super playful. So don't you think that we don't work? We work super hard, but again, it's like there's no balance. You know, as I said also in my talk, that there's no natural. You keep practicing, and if it comes natural, your team will enjoy it. Just simply that is. As you make jokes live, you meet somebody in a coffee shop or in the restaurant of your office building. You just want to feel good, and that's what it's about. There's nothing else I can say.
Awesome, thank you. The next question is, what activity/initiative has the biggest impact on your team's psychological safety?
Like a concrete game. I think the ones where I think these evening games for us, like these collaborative games that I mentioned, like with Scribble, where you can be really, I don't say that we don't talk about work sometimes, but it's like truly for fun, and you do it together. I think that's important, and everybody's involved. It's like holding the pencil, all of you. But there's not one single. I think that the point here is that how to put it? If you are not consistent, that it will be fake. So if the leader is like, now you go home and tomorrow you will say, oh guys, you know what, let's go on and play Scribble, and tomorrow we do a super funny Slack channels, they will go like, okay, did you get a call from the boss, or what's up? So you need to build this up. As you build up trust doesn't happen over time like love doesn't. So you need to build this up, but be consistent, trust the team, tell them why you're doing this, and because we are human beings, I think the results will come naturally.
Wonderful, thank you. And the last question is, what is your favorite Miro game for team building? That's an easy one.
Well, again, I mean, most of them that we have been using was just like our own intentions. I mean, we made them up. I really liked just recently the one. I like the Refrigerator game. I really like that. But later, what we did was like we created in Miro. We created 2 islands, and one of them was the Minions, and the other of them was the Simpsons family. Two islands. You can imagine 2 islands, and with the little characters. And what the game was about that your ship is sinking and your team escaping, and you end up in a deserted island. And the question was that the typical game is that what would you bring if you as a team should wanted to survive, but there could have been no electric, nothing with electricity, so no gadgets. And you can use only emojis, and it was just like so super funny how the team built up, like from emojis they built up this balloon, and they put I remember like I'm not sure the English word is this fire killer, that has the powder, blah, blah, blah. But the point was there and the teams were competing. They had like, I don't know, I remember 10 minutes to complete. This was part of the morning game. I really loved it.
Awesome. Thank you very much for the answers and both for the talk you just gave to us. And thank you all for joining Stretch Leadership Meetup. Now we are going to have a short summer vacation and see you in September with the next event. Please follow us on Facebook and on meetup.com, and see you during the next meetup. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.